He's a good guy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sup Talk Radio. I am excited today for my guest. He is one of the main stars of the Final Scoop podcast, and he is coming live from Poland. He is probably one of our furthest guests I've ever had. He's been a follower of the Sup Talk brand for many, many years, and I'm excited to call him friend. Not a lot of people know about him, and we'll learn some very interesting and cool stuff. But anyway, let me introduce Lukasz Rytkowski, coming straight from Poland. Lukasz, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be a part of your show, man. And to be honest, you said a lot of kind words about me, so yeah, I appreciate that, man.
So, Lukasz, the main thing that I wanted to do is because you and I know each other for a while now, and I know you're an ongoing guest of the Final Scoop. And if you're not familiar with them, it's a great podcast on Saturdays. But I don't know if people really know you, the person. They know you are brilliant when it comes to supplements. People know that you are a stim head. But
let's just say that, yeah.
So I guess tell us first. Were you born in Poland? Have you always been in Poland?
Yeah. I was born in Poland. My mom is Polish, so yeah, I'm from Poland. So yeah.
And growing up, were you an athlete, or what was it like growing up for you?
Well, you know what? When I was like pretty young, I always loved basketball. That was my biggest passion. So since I was a young buck, I was watching NBA games. And you probably remember, we didn't have internet, we didn't have, any fancy things that we have right now.
Yep.
The streams or anything like that were not available. So basically, if Polish TV would like do a live shows or maybe repeat shows on the NBA games, I was watching basically every game, and I was like, man, this was like an error to my lungs. I was basically hooked up from the get go. So since I was like 8, 9 years old, I was like playing. But you know what? I was as I always refer to the guys from the Final Scoop, I was like a chubby little bastard, So I was pretty heavy, and I always liked foods, but the bad ones, And I never liked, I never was like a person that was like sticking to healthy foods. I never understood that,
Okay.
But I was always into like basketball. That was my main passion, and I remember when I was like 15 or 16 years old, something switched in me, and there was a basketball tour here in Poland. There was like there were camps, so many US guys were coming to Poland, and they were training other people from European countries to participate in like games. It was a cool stuff.
Yep.
Of course, you had to pay for those camps, but I always like, okay, sign me up. I'm gonna do everything in my power to earn money and go to these camps. Because you were playing with like Lithuanians, Estonians, and those guys. They know their stuff. So
Yep.
I was a huge fan of it. So when I went there and I was training, I was like I was training like it's basically 8, 9 hours per day. So you can so you can see the effort. So when I come back from the camps, I was like 25 kilos, lighter. So when I remember my mom's face when she saw me when I was like leaving the bus, and she was like, "What the hell? What the hell?" So she couldn't recognize me, and that like pushed me, just like, okay, I need to lose more weight. So I was losing a lot of weight, and to be honest, in like 1 year, I lost probably like 40 kilograms or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went from 120 kilograms up, and my lightest weight was 79. Yeah, so
So 120. So if you do it in pounds, 120 is like 245 maybe.
yeah,
And
something
if you're
like that.
80, that dropped down to about 170.
Yeah, and it was like a pure fat, man. I was like I said, I was chubby little bastard, you know. Yeah, so
So was your mom? So when you came home, was your mom happy for you, or did she just typically think you weren't eating? Like they're not feeding you
no,
there. What are they doing?
she was always supportive. She knew that that basketball is my passion, but at the same time, she knew that this will allow me to reach my other goals. So when I started playing basketball on like a higher level, in college, and in other leagues, then I incorporated more weightlifting, and that's when my passion came in with weights. But then the weight increased, due to muscle mass. So
Yep.
I bumped up from 79 up to 90 kilograms. Yeah, and to be honest, that's my current weight. It's like 91 kilograms. So yeah,
So was there a position that you preferred?
I was a shooting guard.
And
I always I always played the fox. I was a
how tall
I
are
was
you?
I'm 6'1".
Wow. Okay.
No,
Was
I
there
was.
a specific player that you followed or wanted to be like?
You know what? I had some favorites, of course. Like Michael Jordan was one of my goats. But to be honest, I remember like I was a huge fan of Detroit Pistons, and it can be a funny story to you. But one time, I when I was I think I was 13 or something like this.
Okay.
I found the address to Detroit Pistons, and I sent them a letter in English. My English is still bad, but that time was even worse. So I sent a letter to I think GM or someone in Detroit, and I said that you're my favorite players and so on. And I remember Grant Hill was playing there with Joe Dumars.
Okay.
And so I listed them on my letter, and like in 1 month, there was a package for me from US.
Really?
Yeah, and they sent out like four posters of their top players, and they were all autographed.
So was this at the time when Isaiah Thomas was playing with them?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but he was ending his career almost. And I remember, and I still have a chills, when I'm talking about that, because for a young fella that loved basketball and loved it's hard to explain, especially with this feeling, so
Yeah.
I still love it till this day, but back in the days it was everything to me, so yeah.
Have you ever watched the behind the scenes? Like I think on Netflix, they do it on like the Pistons, how nasty they were in the '80s, like all the rivalries.
Yeah. I think that's why I love I love the team, I love the ruthless. I love really, the vibe, the chemistry that was with them. So yeah, man.
And of course, Pete chiming in saying, "Let's take it to the court. $5 says I kick your ass."
I got you, Pete.
So as you mentioned, you did the camps, you started losing weight, and then you turned to the gym.
Yeah, correct. So
go ahead.
yeah. So to be honest, the US guys, they always like pushed us, and they say, no matter if you are doing everything on the court, you need to incorporate some weightlifting to your daily regime. So first I was like, oh, screw that, because I never trained, but I wasn't scared. I wasn't like people that are like right now, especially that they're coming to the gym and they are scared. They don't know what to do and they are hesitating, all the time.
Yep.
So I remember, because back in the days I was still living in a small neighborhood in my city. I was living in a just different part of the town here where I'm living right now, and I had a friend, and he was also overweight, just like me, to be honest. But we were very, very really good friends, And I remember that one summer he decided to jump on the gym, and he was training a lot, and he lost a lot of weight, and he built a good ton of quality muscle. But then he moved to a different city, and then to a different country. So I lost contact with him.
Okay.
But he introduced me to the gym. He said, go to the gym, and there was like a old bodybuilder called Jack, and he basically showed me around. He said, if you need any help, just let me know, and I will just fill you in. So I just like started training, basic training, full body workouts on every machine,
Okay.
and then it moves really fast. I started like reading all the papers, magazines, because back in the days there was no internet. There was only magazines.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm an old school, so I was like reading muscular development that was available in Poland. We also had some other magazines that were like about bodybuilding, powerlifting, those kinds of things.
Okay.
And then I decided to do a PT, certificate. So
Nice.
from one PT certificate, I moved to another one. Then I did a bodybuilding coach certificate in a ministry of bodybuilding here in Poland. So yeah, that was pretty fun ride.
Lukasz, when you're reading magazines and whatnot, were they American or was there actually like muscular development? Were they translated to Polish?
Yeah, they were Polish because I don't know if you remember, but there was, and there still is a company here in Poland, Fitness Authority. Maybe you're familiar
Okay.
with.
Yeah.
They were the first distributor that brought Gaspari Nutrition to Poland.
Mm.
So they were like also the first distributor for Animal, Universal, bigger brands. Then they decided to basically stop with the distribution and go with their own lines. So they are now distributing Kevin Levrone, their own line, Fitness Authority,
Okay.
and few other brands. But I think they stopped producing the magazine like 1 or 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's not like it's a recent thing, but yeah, it was available, and it was really good. And I also worked there for like 2 or 3 months, I think, when I was in college.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote articles about supplements. I was also translating informations and research papers. Yeah, fun
So
time.
when you were first starting to work out, were you using supplements yet?
Back in the days now. The only thing that I was using was the protein powder. That was the only thing, and I drank it after my training session, and that was basically it.
And what brand was that?
It was Olymp.
Okay.
They had these sachet, and I remember it was like 30-20 split. So basically 30 grams of carbs and 20 grams of protein per sachet.
Okay.
And it was like with quick carbs and a blend of protein. Yeah. So, but it tasted good. It wasn't bad, But comparing it to the stuff that we have right now, it's night and day, man.
So how old were you then when you took your first supplement?
Once again, can you please?
When you used the protein, when you took your first supplement, how old were you then?
I think was around 16 years old.
Okay.
Something around that. Yeah, I was pretty young, but it wasn't something that we didn't treat it as like nowadays. Like people are like scared or saying, "Oh, steroids" or something. No, nothing like that. Because we had this guy, as I said, in my gym, the old bodybuilder or Jack, and he
Okay.
was like, he always was super transparent, and he was never like trying to push products to anyone. But he had this nice display. He had like a few brands, and he has just like a smaller restaurant that you could like purchase some products, products on the go, protein bars, those kind of things. Yeah. So when I saw them for the first time, I was like, what is that? So, in magazines you had all these advertisements, and I remember like one time when I got the paper from my friend from US, and he sent me original, the original muscular development,
Yep.
The paper was like this,
Yeah.
and the amount of ads were like this. So it was crazy to me because in muscular development that was produced in Poland, there was not that much advertisements.
Okay.
Maybe you had like, I don't know, 20 pages. That's basically it.
Yeah.
So when I saw the US muscular development and the number of brands and the number of things that they advertise, I was like, well, I was blown away. I was like, what is that? What is that? What is that? So I started to read up, and that's when I went so deep into like researching, trying to find out about the ingredients, and so on.
So was bodybuilding popular or well known like it is here, maybe the UK or the States back 20 years ago?
You know what? In Poland, as you probably remember, Mariusz Pudzianowski,
Mm-hmm.
who is the strongman. The strongman and the power building culture was really strong, and I think that people were like very interested in those kinds of things. Bodybuilding, I don't think it was that popular,
Okay.
although in my 20s it started to raise up, and right now it's booming. But due to the circumstances that we have right now, the events are really limited. So we have some shows going on, but all is very strict, and I don't know how it's gonna be right now, but yeah, but back in the days, not that much, but nowadays, yeah, for sure.
Who did you like growing up? Did you follow bodybuilders themselves? Was there anybody you really liked growing up?
No, I didn't follow anyone, to be honest.
Okay.
Honestly, I wasn't like any. I'm not into like social media at all, to be honest. And I'm old school, even till this day. I got my Facebook, and everyone is laughing at me because I'm not using Instagram. So I think I'm not living because I'm not on IG. But honestly, I don't like drama. I try to like stick outside, of that. So I just like got my
Yep.
small Facebook and my crew that I like try to catch up and keep in touch with. So yeah, that's just me, But I never follow like anyone besides basketball star, of course.
That's what my kids say, that Facebook is now for the old people, where Instagram is the young people.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Times changed. I remember like there were so many apps. You had this Snapchat. You had like TikTok, like Bumbles. Those
Yep.
I don't get it. But I'm too old for that. I don't have time, to be honest, for going on a different platforms like all the time. Trying to get followers. It's
Yep.
not me. It's not me.
So fast forward, you joined Prometheus. How long have you been with Prometheus?
Well, that's a pretty cool story. So I'm with the Prometheus right now. This year's gonna be 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm one of the older guys in this crew, and but it's a pretty cool story. I will like I'm just gonna give you a small glimpse. So when I was like doing my thing in Poland, and I was like very into training hard, and bodybuilding, those kind of things. So when my love for the supplements increased, I decided I will give it a shot and maybe reach out to one brand that I was like super passionate about, and just like try to figure it out and maybe do some things with them. So back in the days, there were in Poland there were like many forums.
Okay.
So you remember probably in those times of forums.
Oh, yeah.
Forums were like something special. I
That's where you
remember
learn.
Yeah, I remember when I was like coming back from school, the first thing what I would do is I would sit like 6, 7 hours on the forums and just like chatting.
Yeah.
And that was my whole world, you know. And we were chatting about diet, about training, about supplements, those kind of things, you know. And so in the US there was this brand. I don't know if they are still around, but Athletic Extreme. Maybe are you familiar with?
I've heard of them. I think you're right. I don't know if they're around anymore.
Yeah. So they had like super size, ultra reps, stimulant X. I still remember to this day, you know, few other products that they had. But I remember the super size was with some extra ingredients. So it was like hitting hard, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember I got the top. I don't remember from who it was, but when I tried this stuff, I was like, man, I'm in love. So just like Eddie from Muscle Powers. Shout out to this guy. So when I tried it, I was like, yeah, man, this is a cool stuff. So I reached out to them, and they responded to me. So we negotiated a deal, and I was there. Basically, I was their rep in
Really?
Poland. Yeah, I was their rep in Poland, and I was doing advertisements and all different kinds of stuff in on the forum here in Poland. There was one of the biggest forums, bodybuilding forums,
Okay.
called KFD, and it's still this day. It's online and you can go and just check it out. But the section is not available anymore. But we had like a huge section. So I was introducing all the athletes. I was writing articles about the products. I was doing testing. I was like sending packages to all different groups of people just to try out and gain them feedback. And that's how the company grew.
Yeah.
And that's how my CEO got in touch with me. He
Wow.
Yeah, because back in the days Prometheus had a distribution with Athletic Extreme, so they were distributing the products. And when I was receiving packages with the products, I wasn't receiving products from US. I was receiving from Prometheus, but I didn't know that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and then like my CEO one time sent me a message. He introduced himself and he said that you're doing extremely good job. Maybe we should do something together. So I started to let's say like I was still rapping for Athletic Extreme, but at the same time it converted to sales, and more sales went to Prometheus. So both parties were happy. And that's how I started working with the guys right now. Yeah.
So was Prometheus, when you go back 12 years, were they predominantly like supplements, or were they a general distribution? Because some of the stuff you post on Facebook, you've got, licorice and all sorts of like just anything.
Yeah. Well, honestly, times changed. As you know, due to the COVID, we had to make some major adjustments because nowadays it's really hard for many people, due to the fact that not many people have access to the gyms. As you
Hmm.
probably know, let's say even in UK were locked down for like 4 months straight.
Yeah.
No gyms were open, so only people that had access to their own home gyms could train. But it's like it's super small percentage. Here in Poland, per right now per day we got 30,000 cases of new COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, infections. So that's rough situation, and that is why we had to make some adjustments and retweak our assortment to be more attractive and to be in a business, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you probably know like 10 years ago when I was like starting my work at Prometheus, we were like selling like tons of like protein powders, gainers, fat burners, those kind of things. Times changed, man.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's more about functional foods and drinks and those kind of things. Pre-workouts, of course, and I think that it's gonna change definitely once we get back to normal, whatever that means. But yeah, I think that with the gym reopenings, I think that yeah we will see increase in sales for this category. But now we need to like stick our gears in something else, something that
Yeah.
bring tension and give us more sales and allow us just to be up there.
Yeah. So do you guys own? Are you guys pretty much the only distributorship out in Poland, or is there other competitors?
You know what? Prometheus is the distributor that is located in Netherlands.
Okay.
So we are located in Emmen, it's close to a German border. So we distribute the products on the basically in entire Europe. We
Mm,
also like sell stuff to UK, but right now with the Brexit, it's a bit different situation. But in my company, there's like many sales managers that are responsible for different region, and since day one, I was responsible for Poland,
okay.
and I basically grew my reach, and I was able to gain more friendships and relationships across the entire like Eastern Europe. So right now I'm not only responsible for Poland, but I'm also reaching out to Baltics, so Estonia,
Wow.
Lithuania, Latvia. Also, I'm working with the guys from Russia, Ukraine, and also Slovakia regions. So Slovakia, Slovenia, Czech Republic. Yeah.
Okay. So, Lucas, if you take away COVID, do you here in the U.S. a lot of the distributors are having trouble because a lot of the supplement companies are now dealing directly with the stores. They're kind of cutting out the distributors. Is that an issue over in your area too?
You know what? I still think that this type of relationship between distributor and the brands is a good thing, and I also think that of course I will give you an example. In my country, basically every bigger distributor, just like a Polish one, right,
Yep.
has its own brand.
Okay.
So you can imagine they try to prioritize their products. So basically they're gonna sell their own products at first, and they're gonna import like products outside, let's say outside Europe, maybe some US products, but basically they're trying to stick with the European brands because it's cost effective and so on.
Yep.
So they try to compete with each other basically on their own brands, but they also try to like work together. So basically if one distributor gets other distributor line, they basically work with each other, but if they don't like each other, then there is a war going on. So yeah, man. So but which we basically try to keep the prices on the good level. We don't like the margin wars, those kind of things, and we work with good. I got some really good partners in Poland, and not only in Poland, but also, like I said, in other countries.
Okay.
And to me, it's not only about business, and it's not only about like earning money. Money is the last thing. To me, it's just to be legit, be a genuine guy that just like try to share solid information and just provide good
Yeah.
support.
Lucas, are these supplement regulations very tight in Poland as they are like in New Zealand, where you can only have either a certain amount of caffeine, certain amount of citrulline malate, or is it kind of more open like it here is in the U.S.?
I wouldn't say they are as strict as they are in Australia or New Zealand, because New Zealand, I think it has the crazy regulations.
Yeah.
In Poland, they are not that bad,
Okay.
honestly, but we still have to make some extra rules. So when you want to like sell a product legally in Poland, you need to register it. So you need to do an extra paperwork, and you send it to a specific, I always say body
Yeah.
here in Poland that is responsible for taking and doing all the approvals and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And based on their decision, that takes like from 3 to 6 months. If you can like import and sell a product here in Poland or not. And that is why many brands and many like smaller companies they have their own shops and so on. They decide not to import products outside from US, because it takes a lot of time to register a product here. They decided to manufacture on their own. And nowadays, it's not that hard, just to like, let's say, produce a protein powder or a BCAA, those kind of things.
So is some of the D level products, the DMAAs, DMHAs, is that just as heavily regulated, or I guess illegal over there as well?
Yeah, it's illegal. It's illegal. You can't sell these products, and it's basically on your own risk.
Okay.
But I know many shops here that sell this stuff without a glimpse of an eye. Yeah.
So are you a DMAA, DMHA guy, or do you stick more towards just the true caffeine type products?
I tried in my life many things, and me and Robic are really old school. So when we are talking about stims, I remember the days when ephedrine was legal. So yeah, I'm the guy that was using some good stuff back in the days.
Okay.
I was the first. I remember the OG jacked.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it's good old days. And me and Shane always laugh about the hemo rage was with ape citrate. So
Yep.
yeah, man, good old days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago with a lot of the younger folks.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was, what product would you bring back? And they were saying, obviously, the USP Labs and some of the BSN stuff. And I throw out Ripped Fuel, which I lived on in the 90s because it was caffeine, ephedrine, and aspirin. And they had no idea what ephedrine was. And I know on one of the final scoops, I know half you guys were like, what the hell's ephedrine? Because I know Robic is using ephedrine, but I just think it's so funny that they're thinking 10 years ago and I'm thinking 25 years ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's why I'm laughing, because so many people like asking us questions, and sometimes there's like, what do you think about DMAA and ephedrine or something like this? And I'm like, dude,
Can't compare.
It's a whole nother level. You can't compare it.
Yep.
No.
So talking about caffeine and whatnot, what is your tolerance? Or have you ever calculated your tolerance?
You know what? I don't like to brag, because
go ahead.
Because that's not a thing here. But if I would say the most amount that I took in one day was 1.5 grams of caffeine, but it was during Expo FIBO. So I was just drinking coffee after coffee, and then drink after another drink, because you had like so many meetings. You need to be in your A game like all the time, because you need to give attention to a person that is coming, let's say, from Ukraine. He comes like 1,000 kilometers just to see you, just to connect with you. He's not gonna buy anything. He just wanna shake your hand, and he just wanna meet you in the eyes and just say how nice of a person you are. So that's such a great feeling. But at the same time, it takes a lot of energy from you. So I would say, that was the heaviest amount that I took in one day.
So when you look at a specific product, is the original Hooligan one of the higher, or have you taken something higher, which I think the original Hooligan was like 720 milligrams or 700 milligrams?
In a one go, you mean?
Yeah.
In a one go, I think it was the highest one.
Okay.
Because when I say, let's say I take 1 gram of caffeine per day, it's not in like one go.
No, of course.
It's like split into like 3-4 dosages. It's based on what type of a day I have. If I'm training in the morning, I take my pre-workout, because I always train fasted. So I take my morning dose of stims, and I basically hit the road, go to the gym, and I come back, just and just start my work, my work. So
Okay.
yeah, let's.
Do you ever taper off, or I mean, do you ever take your tolerance up and down, or is it always kind of the same almost every day?
In the rest days,
Okay.
I'm not taking that much caffeine. Today is Easter, so the gym is closed. So I'm
Okay.
not training today. I just did my cardio two times per day. But honestly, I just drink one C4 energy drink and one Monster, and that was basically it. So
Okay.
it feels a bit weird, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm not addicted. I was never addicted, and I never had issues with caffeine, honestly.
Okay. So, question for you: how did you meet everybody from the Final Scoop?
You know, I think I know Shane for for the longest time,
Yep.
and I was doing my research, and I found his site, and I started to to reading his articles, and that's how we catch up. Robert, if I remember correctly, I remember he was one of the guys at the Price Flow,
Mm-hmm.
and if I saw him in one video or something. He was with CJ back in the day,
Yep.
and when he part ways with Price Flow and went he other way, we just kept in touch. But I remember, I wasn't like we weren't that close that we are right now,
Yeah.
And as far as Robic, we reached out, like we met, like I think it was 2 years ago or something,
Okay.
and I reached out to him because I thought that Apollon was doing some epic stuff, and I just wanted to just like give him my feedback and just like appreciate what he's doing.
Yep.
And that's how we build our relationship, because I introduced him to Shane. Shane started to writing about Apollon,
Yep.
and and since then, we are we are good friends. So yeah, I think that this relationship evolved a lot. Yeah.
It's funny because and I don't think anybody wants to admit it because I know conversations are always about reviewers on the Final Scoop. But when you really look at it, Shane, I consider Shane a reviewer, but he's a non-biased reviewer. I mean, he's a journalist, but he kind of is a reviewer.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, because I think that Shane is a type of a guy that is really genuine, and he's not trying to like push products to people. When he's doing a review, or even like a blog post, he always try to be neutral.
Yes.
He wants to just like show people a brand, product, service, those kind of things. But he's never tried to like say this is the best, this is the best,
Mhm.
that's the best. No, but when he's appreciating something, and he's in his own eyes a product is worth checking out or buying out, then he's like doing a referation, but in his own, I think, good way, and
Yes.
he's presenting the product. Look, guys. I think this is something that you should check it out. In my eyes, this is probably one of the top products right now.
Hmm.
So go ahead and try it. Yeah,
Yeah, and I love him for that because he and I think I met him maybe 3 or 4 years ago because he actually did a little story on Sub Talk, which I
yeah,
really appreciated.
yeah. I
And
remember
again,
that.
and again, I just have the utmost respect for him, and I think it's just crazy how he told me that he has an average of like 50,000 views a day on a site.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy how he grew. But honestly, I also, um, if I can say, I think that you are also doing a really good job with your site and with your reviews.
Thank
Let's
you.
say, today I was watching your recent review about Obvi, protein bars, and I think it was really good. It was straight to the point. It
Thank
was
you.
like it was 5 minutes long, but you presented it so good. It was not stuff like bullshit, or not like fake hype. Not
Yep.
nothing like that. It was like, okay, macros, what type of a product it is, uh, and I think that's that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that because it is true. Some people truly live on the words of the reviewer. And I always
Yeah,
try to make it known that that's my opinion. What works for me
yeah,
doesn't work for you, and vice versa.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I don't like the review channels that much.
Yeah.
But I prefer if someone is doing just like I wouldn't call it an review, but I would call it an introduction of a product to the
Yeah.
market. So if someone would like to know, for example, what type of a product this is, then here there is a video for it, and
Hmm.
you can check it out. But just like if someone gets paid, and is telling like people, oh, this is the shit, you need to try it out, then it bothers me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk just a few minutes, Lucas, about your training. I know you train fasted, like I do as well. Because
Mhm.
for me, I was taught when I was doing my bodybuilding shows years ago, train fasted because you'll burn more fat. But is it just you don't like to train on a full stomach, or do you have a philosophy behind you training fasted?
No, honestly, it's a preference,
Okay.
and I prefer to train fasted. I remember back in the days I was eating a meal, and then I was going to the gym.
Okay.
But honestly, I was feeling sluggish. I didn't feel good. I wasn't energized. I didn't feel good. I was
Hmm.
like, oh damn, something is in my stomach. I need to wait like 2 hours just to digest the food so I could yeah, be in my zone and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's not about that. I can wake up, just take my stims, go to the gym and train like a monster. I don't need that much. And honestly, if you fuel yourself the day before, you got plenty of energy, man.
That's
And
it.
that's why honestly I laugh a lot about these stuff when they try to advertise BCAAs, intra workout carbs because you're gonna burn muscle. Fuck that, man. That's such a bullshit.
Yeah.
You got so much fat on your ass sitting at your disposal just to you can use. And
Yep.
you just need more effort. And like people are out nowadays are just so dependent about you need to take this supplement, take that supplement, anti-catabolic this, anti-catabolic that. Nah, your organism knows how to react, and if you're gonna give it a good stimulus, it's gonna grow and it's gonna respond just like you want.
Do you feel though, obviously from one supplement lover to another supplement lover like yourself, do you think people are using too many supplements and not either training hard enough or eating maybe not perfect, but eating better or eating more?
You know what? I give you an example. In my gym, 90%. Oh, I'm too good. 95% of the people don't know how to train, or they don't train at all.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them is just watching at their phone. If I could just show you what they are doing, you would
Yep.
laugh. And you know what? Some people just don't know how to train, or their intensity is just they do a set, they walk up to their phone, sitting on their phone for like 4 or 5 minutes, and they do another set.
Yep.
It's like, what's the point? I don't understand this, but I never try to to go to a person and say something that is their thing. I'm just gonna shut up and I'm gonna do my thing. So
Yeah. It's tough because I always have a moral dilemma when okay, so yes, I agree everybody's on their phones too much, but if
yeah,
someone is training and maybe it's poor form, bad form or whatever, I always feel bad. It's like, do I want to say something? Because years ago I would say something and try to be nice and I'd get the fuck away from me. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna blow your back out on the squats, you're gonna hurt yourself,
yeah,
but it's a moral thing for me because I have a degree in nutrition, the exercise physiology, and it's so tough for me. but I've just learned, like you said, I just keep my mouth shut and just let them do what they want to do.
You know what? When in the gym there is a PT or someone, and I see that someone is doing awful, awful form or something like this, I
Yeah.
always try to go to the PT and say, listen, if you've got nothing else to do, just go to this guy or girl and just say, or just show them a proper form. And
Smart.
I think that's the right way, because I also am a PT, so I know how to handle people.
Yep.
But on the other hand, some people are just nasty. You can come to them and you can show them much love, but they will still say, "Oh, fuck off."
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, what's the point? But on the other hand, I totally understand. I totally understand you. Yeah.
Yeah, I always talk about that with just other friends. Do you tell them? Do you not tell them? And it's more now, just let them hurt themselves. And I hate to be that guy, but it's sad.
Yeah, I think so too. Sometimes they need to learn, basically.
What is your training regime like? Do you train 5 days, 6 days, cardio every day, or what does that look like?
I do cardio, but I do cardio every day, but it's for I would say mental thing.
Okay.
It keeps me sane, to be honest, and it also keeps me relaxed. So right now, my gym, due to the COVID, changed the working hours.
Okay.
Back in the days, it was open at 6 a.m., but now it's open from 8 a.m.
Okay.
I'm a morning guy, so I usually wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning every day. I got this crazy schedule, so basically, to me, I wake up every day, go to bed at the same time every day.
Yeah.
So I'm like a clockwork. Yeah. So at 5 a.m., basically, I wake up and I go downstairs. I'm so fortunate right now in my home gym. I got a few equipments. So I've got the rower, a Concept 2 rower. I've
Okay.
got the assault bike, and I've got a stepper. So every day I can do a different shit.
So do you do
Basically,
you do you put on just do you put on music, or do you watch a TV while you're doing your cardio? What do you do?
podcasts. I to me, listening to music is a waste of time,
Okay.
and I love to educate myself all the time. I'm a big into this kind of things. And if there is nothing, no podcast, I simply read books.
Okay.
And I also like try to go to, let's say, 5 in the morning, my time. There's usually like few news stories at stacked sites. So I first go to Shane's site, read up what's going on in the industry. Then I check out what's up on the Facebook. Maybe someone put some research, those kind of things. I usually go to Ergolog just to check out what's going on out there.
Okay.
Those kinds of things. So I've got my few points that I'm trying to check out every day. But yeah, basically podcasts and trying to educate. Yeah.
When you do your cardio, are you more high intensity, or what's your cardio like?
And no, steady state. I'm not into like hit cardio.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So basically, if I'm in a rest day and let's say I'm like into something cool, then maybe I will do a like Concept 2 a rower with some assault bike, you know, in some time do some imam or something like this. But besides that, I stick to a steady state cardio.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
I
but
know.
as far as your question about the training, I train 6 times a day, 6 times a week.
Okay.
Uh, last year I was training like 5 times per week, but I don't know. Nowadays it's like I do push pull legs, so I do twice per week. So it gives me this cool schedule, just to per week. So that works for me.
Gotcha. So a question I always I know you folks have discussed it on your podcast, and I always like to ask my guests, when you look at the supplement industry in general, are we advancing, or have we hit a plateau at the moment?
No, in which point you mean?
Well, like when you I'll use pre-workouts for an example. you can look at 5 brand new pre-workouts, and they all look the same. It's the citrulline, it's the betaine, it's the beta-alanine, it's the caffeine, and it's more of who has more of that dose, but nobody seems to be. And we're both good friends with Robic, so I'm going to take it out because his products, there's a lot of creativity in his products, but good creativity. But when you look in general, like for pre-workouts, I'll give an example. They all look the same. There's nothing new and exciting in the pre-workout world for the most part.
Like copy paste, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and some proprietary blends and those kinds of stuff, those kinds of shit. Yeah, I agree. But honestly, I think that there are some brands here and there that are like doing some good stuff. And I also think that some people are like coming out with some quality ingredients. I will give you an example. Like a few, I don't remember which episode was it, but we had Bruce Kneller was inventor of the new patented ingredients like 3D pump, and I tried it, and it's crazy. It's really good, and it works. So it gives you a perspective that there are some people out there, smart people, that can launch some crazy good ingredients, but you just need to like research and just like find them, basically.
Yeah.
To me, I think that every day basically we are getting more and more research on new ingredients, new stuff. We just need to like try to figure it out and maybe put something different instead of like putting like, let's say, only saturation ingredients into the labels. Like yesterday we had the question from one listener, and he was like, what do you think about adding creatine, BCAAs, and what was the last one? Creatine, BCAAs, and something else into our pre-workout. And I was like, what's the point? It's just like a waste of space, basically. Yeah. Because, as we all know, creatine works, it's like a saturation ingredient. It's exactly the same as PCO2, betaine, beta-alanine. I also think that beta-alanine has no purpose in pre-workouts.
Okay.
If I would never use beta-alanine in any pre-workout. That's just my personal opinion, because I think that it's just a waste of space. And many products. I remember one in particular, and I don't know if you had a chance to try it. Dedicated Nutrition had Unstoppable. Have you tried it before?
No, I know the company, but no, I've not tried it.
The first version was with AIM citrate. Man.
Okay.
This was the best, in my opinion. I tried many things. This was, till this day, I think so. And maybe I think that Shane's going to agree with me on that. This was the best pre-workout I've ever tried in my entire life.
Really? Okay.
This was the best thing ever. And it wasn't with beta-alanine. There was no beta-alanine at all. It was based on stims, and that's why it worked. And I think that if you want to produce a good pre-workout, you need to put your attention only on stims, and then you can produce products that are like go around it. Build your line. So you can do a creatine, you can do a betaine power type of a product, PCO2 maybe. You can combine it with beta-alanine because they work synergistically together. I think that that's a good concept. But
that's interesting. Do you know have you heard of the bodybuilder Milo Sachev?
Of course.
Okay, so I was watching an interview with him on Generation Iron the other day, and he was asked about pre-workouts, and he doesn't like pre-workouts because he feels that people rely too much on the stims, where obviously back in his time, in the 80s and 90s, they didn't have pre-workouts, that you were forcing your body to really work hard, where he feels that the stims are almost like they're trying to give you the push where you're not doing the natural like energy yourself.
Yeah. You know what? I can refer to yesterday's episode, because we also had this question. Would you rather train without any stims, even caffeine, or would you take a caffeine or something, or like an energy drink to train? What would be your call?
You asking me?
Yeah.
So I would say I need some caffeine. There's like
Mhm.
my low days. I have one big cup of coffee,
Yeah.
black coffee, to put me through the day, and then obviously on the weekends I do a little bit higher stims. But yes, I need
Yeah.
some kind of stim to run me.
Yeah. And I said I don't need anything. I only need one thing: 1 gram of salt. That's basically it, and
Okay.
that's gonna keep me wired as hell. And my pump's gonna be crazy. And honestly, I'm laughing because so many people are like saying, "Well, I'm taking this product and it's not working. Pumps are not there." I'm like, "What, bro? What the hell?" I'm like, I don't need any product, and after one set, my muscles are pumped.
Yep.
You just need to know how to train. The mind muscle connection is such a important thing. So
Yes.
if your CNS works well and you're well connected with your body, you can do a hell out of the job without any stims.
Yep. Lucas, what are some of maybe 2, 3, 4 brands? And I know you've probably said this on other episodes, but what are 2, 3, 4 brands that you personally like?
You know what? I would if I would say right now, I love what Inspired is doing.
Yep. I
Chris
love
Ward.
Chris. Chris, good guy.
Yeah, I have a huge respect for this guy. And hopefully he's gonna do a show with us all on the Final Scoop.
Oh
Because
wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope he's gonna do, because he's doing some shows with Robert on a monthly basis. But I really hope he's gonna jump on the show with us. But yeah, he's doing a crazy job right now, especially with the expansion in the Australia and New Zealand market. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know if you saw the newest products he's launching: custard, whey protein blend.
No.
And the detail to his packaging is just on the
Yeah,
another
it's
level.
creative. Because I think he does them. I think he's doing the actual design himself too.
Yeah, he's doing it with London, right? Who came from Intel.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that these guys are into something special. Other person, I think that Morphogen is. I need to give a huge shout out to these guys as well, because Morphogen is like putting a lot of effort, and even my CEO is also blown away with their products. They're always packed, and I'm like, man,
Yeah,
he
they're
can.
a brand I think that doesn't get as much recognition. I think they're still under the radar for a lot of people.
And that's the thing with me. I always try to like look up for the smallest brands, and this how I found your site. This is how
Yeah.
I found you, and this is how I started following your podcast and your site and so on. Because I
Yeah.
think that brands like this need recognition, need support, because if they are doing something, they can be big. The
Yeah.
perfect example is Robic.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know.
You can see how he grew since, like, for the like 2 years. He grew a lot, and
Yeah.
he's reaching
He's a
amazing.
great story. He's a great story because I don't know if you know Rich Vellucci, who's his marketing guy for a little while, Robic's marketing guy.
Is he now with the 5% nutrition, maybe?
Rich, no, I don't think Rich is with anybody.
Okay.
So Rich has a regular job. He's a salesperson, but I think he
Mhm.
was helping Robic for a while with the social media and whatnot. But Rich was a guest on my show back in 2017, and they might have had 2 or 3 products at the time. But
Yeah.
now, fast forward now, again, Apollin's one of the fastest growing companies. And I'm not saying that because he's our friend, but I mean that honestly.
Yeah, if Robic would do a bad job, I would be the first person say it straight away, dude,
Yep.
just stop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's into something. So yeah, I really appreciate what he's doing, especially with the double impact. That was a solid launch on his behalf,
Yep.
and it was also for the good cause. So yeah, man.
Have you tried the new Assassin yet? Has he gotten that to you, or have you gotten it yet?
You mean the TJ edition?
No, wasn't there a new assassin that just dropped? Because I saw Pete Pasimus posted something. It looked like a brand new label.
The only one that I tried was, I think it was V6 version or V5.
Okay.
It was still the black top with the big
Okay.
red A. Yeah, but I'm waiting for a double impact. Uh, should be maybe next week with me. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm excited about it.
Does Prometheus carry his line, or is he in? He's in Poland? No.
No, 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 we don't.
Okay.
This will be a really hard nut to crack because
Okay.
there is like lots of ingredients that are banned in Europe. So
Mm,
the the label would have to be like changed a lot. Yeah.
okay. All right. Lucas says, as time winds down here, I've got a few kind of random questions that I want to ask you so the listeners know you a little bit better.
Yes.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be? Doesn't matter who it is.
You know what? I would say huh, my biggest role model was my grandpa,
Okay.
and from my mother's dad, and I was really close with him, and he teach me a lot, and so I would love to spend a few minutes with him. Yeah,
I've got a lot of respect because most people will say Michael Jordan, Abraham Lincoln, but you say a family member. I've got a lot of respect for you.
I miss my grandpa. That's why I was very close with him. So I wouldn't like you know do a minute with like Rock or like Michael Jordan. I
Yeah.
think that family members are really important to me. So yeah, I'm a family guy. That's why probably I would
Good. I
go
love
with
it.
Rock.
What about who's your favorite superhero?
You know what? I'm a Venom guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a Venom guy. Yeah, I love Venom. I don't
Did
know
you
why.
did you like
Last
the newest movie? Did you like the movie that came out like 2 years ago?
Yeah, yeah, loved it a lot, and I'm looking forward to the part two that's gonna
Is there
launch
are they
soon.
making one? Are they definitely making one?
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be part two. Yeah,
All right.
it's
I,
gonna
I liked it as well.
Carnage. It's gonna be Carnage, right?
Okay. Yeah, because the one they did 10 years ago with Spider-Man was just terrible.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's not funny. Yeah, but
What
the Venom was awesome. Yeah.
what if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Hmm. That's a tough one. I think that I would go still with Venom, like mutate or change my uh my presence, or like be a strong guy, those kind of things. I think I would go that route. I don't
That
like I don't I never thought about like flying or like teleporting. I think that's okay, but I think I would go something crazy like jumping from one building to another one. Those kind of things. Yeah,
that's interesting how you kind of like because I know Venom is almost like that good guy, bad guy a little bit.
yeah. That's me. That's basically me. Yeah.
And
That's
then
that's why Robbie called me troublemaker.
and I guess the last question. So what is your absolute favorite exercise to do in the gym?
um. Yeah.
Or maybe two, if you have to list two, maybe. If you can't pick one.
You know what? I love squats.
Okay.
So tomorrow I'll get squats, honestly, and I'm already like getting into it because it's gonna be a heavy double. So I'm excited about it. But I love all different pull movements. So heavy rows, heavy deadlifts, those kind of
Okay.
things. So if I would like list, I would probably go like rows and squats.
What is your best lift on anything that you've done?
Um, you know what? I would say probably squat, 4 plates.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, 4 plates for squat. Also 4 plates as far as deadlift. Um, I'm very bad in bench.
Okay.
I basically try to stick to the dumbbells. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say like squats or deadlift. Yeah.
Is that a current number, or is that years ago when you were a lot younger?
No, it's my current number. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Lukasz, I've really, really, really enjoyed speaking with you today. I know, we've shared a lot of DMs and as I've said to you, my only regret is not interacting with you more sooner. But, I love you, brother. I appreciate everything, all our friendship, everything else.
Yeah, man. I also appreciate that. I appreciate your time, and honestly, I feel like super grateful to be a part of your show.
Up,
Oh yeah,
Grandpa's awake.
my grandpa. I love this grandpa. I love my new grandpa.
Can you ask Lukasz how does he stay so sexy all the time?
Yeah, it's TJ's pheromones, and all the deals that he's providing on his site. So check out the fitness deal news, guys.
Yeah, so we got to give a couple of shout outs here. Yes, of course, fitness deal news. We've got Shane at Stack 3D. I don't know if it's stacked or Stack 3D. I don't think I've ever figured it out.
I always say stacked, but many people say, and I was laughing because at the FIBO people were referring always, oh, this guy Stack 3D.
Yeah.
So I think that you can say it how you want, but yeah, if you're gonna say stacked or Stack 3D, it's still a correct one. And also shout out to Big Boss, Robert Chinetsky, supplement engineer, and Robert Saborski, Apollo Nutrition. Yeah.
So Robert Chinetsky will not appreciate this, but yes, one of the smartest guys on the planet. I know he's the most humblest, but one of the smartest guys on the planet.
This guy just blows me away. How smart this guy is, and I think that many brands should, get in touch with him and just even consult and just touch bases. Even if you don't want to pay him anything or just pay for his services or anything like this, just try to talk with this guy because he has such a knowledge. Plus, he's coming out with his own line. I don't know if you.
I did. Yeah.
So that's something that we are all super hyped about, but only Robert is not hyping it at all. So
he's so funny, and I love when Robic puts him on the spot, and he gets so humble. When Robic says, "You're the smartest guy," and he's like, "Oh, stop! No, I'm not."
Yeah. He was always like that, and he's always getting red. And of course, don't forget about TJ because TJ is one of the old timers out there. We refer to him as a grandpa, but this guy knows a lot about supplements, and he's doing such a great job. So yeah, man, shout out to him as well.
He is. And TJ, thank you for joining on here. I know you and I have never spoken live, but you're next on the agenda. I'd love to chop it up and get TJ one-on-one on the podcast or two.
Oh, that's going to be a crazy episode. I'm definitely going to jump on that.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many F-bombs he would drop. But anyway.
Probably a lot.
But Lukasz, is there anything else maybe we haven't covered that you want to let people know that might be watching the podcast now or in the future?
You know what? I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. And if people want to get to know us and just to catch up with the entire crew, you can check us out at the Final Scoop. We do a show, as you said, every Saturday, and we are planning something special soon. So I told Sean some small peaks, so it's gonna be a heavy one. So I don't think that people are ready for that. So we shall see. But yeah, in the meantime, just catch up, hang around with us, and don't forget to follow Stop Talk Radio because what Sean is doing it's awesome, and we need more people like that in our industry.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And that's why there's days that I don't like social media. There's days I don't like the industry because there's too many dummies. But then there's days like this where I meet good people like you and Robic and so many good people. And that's why I love doing what I do.
Yeah, man. I remember when we did our show with you. That was so much fun. And after the show, we even we talked on Facebook. But when I reached out to guys and they were all like, "Whoa, that was such a great episode." And yeah, that's what the social media should be all about: positivity, sharing knowledge, and just and trying to help people and educate people, basically.
Yep, that's it. Well, Lukasz, I know it's late there. I know it's Easter Sunday. But again, I appreciate you so much. If you want to stay on for just a minute here, but as always, thank you so much on behalf of myself and all the listeners.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Yeah, appreciate that.
And for anybody that's listening to this, maybe on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to follow us on YouTube as well. Follow our channel. But as always, happy Easter for those of you that celebrate. And as always, thank you for your time.
Yeah, happy Easter.